United Kingdom. We welcome to UK News. As always, a pleasure to greet you. I'm your presenter, Bruno Dori, with my great partner, Cassandra.
Good morning, Bruno. It's a pleasure to share place with you.
With this, we start this week news.
We start today with some news that make citizens happy. We leave them with our partner Mauricio with sports.
Good morning, Cassandra. Moving on to the sports section, I'm glad to share that the European champions, our champions, Manchester City FC, continue with their great path at this year's Champions League as they won their game against Young Boys FC with the score being 3-1. Mr. Erling Haaland was responsible for 2 of the goals, and the other one was scored by Akanji. Now, as far as Premier League results, Manchester City also came out victorious with a 2-1 versus Brighton FC. Now, we also had Liverpool. Liverpool defeated Everton with a score of 2-0. Newcastle dominated Crystal Palace, winning at home by 4-0. Chelsea and Arsenal gave us an amazing exhibition of tactics and had to share the points with a score 2-2. Manchester United won at Sheffield for the minimum 2-1, and Tottenham had no problem defeating Fulham 2-0. Those were the results for the Premier League. Now, also last week, our national team also had a tough game against Italy, where they were able to walk out with a victory after scoring 3 goals and receiving only 1. Our scorers were Harry Kane, who got 2 goals to his name, and Marcus Rashford, who secured the win with the 3rd goal. Now, that was it for what's relevant in terms of this week's sports. We'll see you next week with more sport content.
It has been a very busy week for citizens. In our topics of popular interest, we want to present you our favorite section of music fans. We'll go with our partner Israel with his music history.
Good morning, Bruno. Well, this is the music session in which we will talk a little about what British rock is, what were its beginnings, and some bands linked to the musical genre. Starting with a little of its story, England was influenced in a very drastic way by a musical movement in the 40s and 50s in the United States, mainly rock and roll and rhythm and blues. Instead of taking the rhythm that was heard in the United States, the British bands preferred to provide a different rhythm, thus giving greater influence in the world. There was time when English music invaded the United States, called it the British invasion. This invasion began with the arrival of the Beatles in 1964 to the United States, all thanks to their single called I Want to Hold Your Hand. Just as it cannot be forgotten that the achievements and momentum that the band obtained were by Brian Epstein and George Martin, who was mainly responsible for the musical evolution in the group. As a curious fact, the Rolling Stones, another British band formed in 1964 that was the complete opposite of the Beatles, are concurrently collaborating with the Barcelona Football Club, where the jersey will carry the band's logo.
It's a pleasure to learn more about music. To end today's news, we want to show you a note that many will be interested in. From the hand of our college Enrique, we have the cultural selection.
Good morning, Cassandra, and to all our audience. This is your favorite section of news and curiosities of our country, folks. Here we go. Bradford Museum unveiled Halloween hauntings from its archive. With Halloween looming, Bradford National Science and Media Museum dusted off the cobwebs in a storm symbolized some of the scariest items. The fangirl to Sir Christopher could press the palate with his tongue to make blood drip from the ends. A museum spokesperson said that items would be sure to give you creeps. Hopes was later disproven, but not before they had gained momentum following WWI, when many bereaved people were desperate to find evidence of their loved ones living beyond the grave. The City Science and Media Museum opened in Bradford in 1983 to tell the story of sounds and imaging technologies of their impact on our lives. Deutsche Musgos world record beats spoken by rain. Hundreds of people have done white sheets in a bid to break a world record for the largest gathering people of dresses as ghosts. Families bravely heavy rain to attend the glorious gathering in Dorchester Beverly Square on Saturday afternoon. They hope to touch the 560 record set in 2017 by a school in Ireland, but adverse weather spooked some participants and only 204 turned out. The attempt was part of Halloween fun they organized by Discovery Dorchester. Sustainable fashion, growing my trousers was a roller coaster. A textile designer who has created a sustainable alternative to jeans by growing and weaving her material has said making the trousers has been a grueling roller coaster. Justin Alice Williams grew flags on her allotment in Hull Cave, Merseyside, and spent months learning to spin it fibers before making the lining pants. She said their creative wasn't an act of rebellion against the fast fashion. She said she wanted to make clothing that helps rather than harms the planet. Cotton, which is used in make denim for jeans, requires so much water to produce. It has become one of the most unsustainable crops of the planet. It can take 202,000 gallons, 10,000 liters, of water to make one pair of jeans, and cotton for the fashion industry also uses about 2.5% of the world's farmland. She added that their involvement means to trust the world woven with so much love from so many people. This is all for today, my estimates. I hope everybody has a nice day, enjoy the parties, and I leave you with my colleague, Bruno.
It was a pleasure to accompany you in your morning with our news of the week and topics of the interest. Thank you as always to my partners and you for following us.
We'll see you next week with more news and topics interest. See you later.